The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Look at this. Look at
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Somerville Lumber. Look strut. Look strut. That's the girl. It's a Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Stars and Strikes on the Winds, and welcome again to another Sunday, and Happy New Year to you as we begin a brand new series here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Park Place Lanes in Windham. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy, and we begin with 5 new bowlers, one of them, of course, hoping to move on to the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, and we have somewhat of an unusual situation here for our first show of this series.
So we have 5 new bowlers and 2 bowlers that are bowling today that are brand new to the show, and it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm sure those first couple of boxes will be quite the task for them at first until they get settled down.
All right, well, let's meet our 2 bowlers, give you a look at them in advance, a little preview of our match today. First of all, our number 5-seeded bowler from Newport, New Hampshire, Dave Blaine.
Okay, Dave comes in averaging 121, has a high single of 186, and his roll-off score at 638.
And Dave, of course, qualified, as did all of these bowlers, at a final roll-off held at Leda Lanes in Nashua. And with that roll-off score of 638, Dave finished just 4 pins behind our number 4-seeded bowler from Revere, Massachusetts, Mike Ferrante.
Okay, Mike comes in averaging 115, high single of 185, and his roll-off score 642.
And, of course, we've got ultimately $1,000 on the line to the winner of this championship ladder 3 weeks from today. And, of course, the big prize is the spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. We have $30 in the bonus ball contest. That'll be a little bit later on in the show. But right now, Dave Blaine and Mike Ferrante are getting set to give us 3 strings of Candlepin bowling, and we're going to get it started right after we have these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to Park Place Lanes, and here are the 5 bowlers in our 4-week series beginning today here on Stars and Strikes. Dave Blaine, Mike Ferrante will battle today. The winner gets Roger Bowden next week, our number 3 seed. 2 weeks from today, Tom Morgan comes in as the number 2 seed, and Steve Vadney is our number 1 seed with that 691 roll-off score. So we'll see if the seedings hold up the way they have been. But right now, Dave Blaine is ready to get this match started on lane 32 here at Park Place. It's been quite some time, I think, since we've had 2 first-timers bowlers on the same program. Dave from Newport, New Hampshire.
Dave's looking at the 1-2-10. Of course, that was probably the toughest ball to deliver, that first one. And now it's the next step is to get that first mark under your belt, and all the butterflies seem to fly away.
Dave waiting for the wood to settle near the 10-pin. Dave's roll-off score at 638, good enough for 5th place in this group. And you mentioned the final roll-off for this series held at Leda Lanes in Nashua. Want to say thank you to Ray Simino and all the gang over in Nashua for their help in running this roll-off final for us here. Dave now over on lane 31, and he's going to have the mirror leave that he had a moment ago.
Just the opposite. This time the 1-3-7.
Tried to play it inside, just missed it.
Dave again waiting for the wood to settle down. Of course, see, the wood knows that these first-time bowlers, so you want to really make them nervous. Nothing nervous about that. Dave picks off the 7-pin that time for a 10, so he's perfect after 2.
And now Mike Ferrante.
Mike has an interesting delivery. It's a 5-step approach, I believe. Quick short steps, leaves himself the 3 and the 5.
And he's got it for the spare, just like that.
It's like he's been here every week.
Mike from Revere, Mass. Does a lot of his bowling at the Linway lanes. Oh, and he's right on the head pin again for a big 9 fill.
Looked like he was a little full, but he got good mixing action and leaves just the 7-pin. And he's going to convert that for 2 in a row.
Not a bad start. Spare, 9-drop spare. And the early lead for Mike Ferrante.
Doug was talking to both bowlers before the match and asking them how long they've been trying to get on the show. And Dave couldn't remember, so it's been quite a while for him. But Mike, it's just been a few months. He's gotten a couple roll-offs and made the finals, and he's here with us.
Well, I say it all the time. You never know unless you give it a try. And,
that's right.
All it takes is a couple of hot days, and there you are.
He does say that he knows his way around New Hampshire quite well, so he's been to a few of them. So. And
another 10s for Dave Blaine.
That's right, another 10 bucks, 3 in a row. Still looking for his first mark. That's a good-looking ball. Thought we had our first strike. Everything but the 8-pin, and he nudges that a little bit. Nice piece of wood next to the 8-pin. And Dave will cover that for his first mark.
Spare up in the 4th. Five drop this time for Mike, and he'll shoot at the 4 horseman left side plus the 10-pin. Almost for the 10.
Some 43 through 3.
Oh, we hope everyone is, if not fully recovered, then on their way to recovering from the holiday season. We enjoyed a safe and happy New Year's weekend. Oh, nice shot for Mike Ferrante, his 3rd mark in 4 boxes.
All spares. Here he's got the 1, the 2, and the 7. Very nicely done. So he shows no signs of being nervous at all. He's really attacking the pins. And now Dave Blaine will work on the spare he put up in the 4th.
A little too full.
Watch out. He wants that 6-pin to fall backwards to take the 10. He's got some workable wood. Looks to me like he probably should play at the left-hand tip of the wood in front of the 610 and snap it into the 610 and hopefully over to the left. No, it's going to go inside.
Ooh.
Not quite enough angle on that second piece to carry the 10.
Dave does most of his bowling at the Sunset Lanes in Newport, New Hampshire. Dave works as a self-employed carpenter. He and his wife Helen have 2 daughters, 8-year-old Jessica and 10-year-old Amanda.
That's a good-looking ball, and will the 7-pin
Very
go?
good.
Yes.
Good enough for the first strike of the day.
Came very close on that lane last time on lane 31. This time the 5, 8, and then finally the 7.
Mike Ferrante on another spare, and he'll shoot for another. The 5-9 is the leave.
Piece of wood out in front. It looks like he probably could drive the ball straight through, though, and for the 5 and 9. That's what he does. Another mark.
So much for first-time jitters.
Guess so.
Both bowlers throwing exceptionally well here in the early going.
Off target, but not a bad drop. 7, 1, 2, and 8 pins left. Some 78 at the halfway point. Another one? Not quite.
'87 through 6. Fine start for Mike Ferrante.
It's a 20-pin advantage. Of course, Dave Blaine will reduce that with the first 2 balls on the strike. Well, it looked good going in. A little more mixing action, and there's an interesting leave. You don't see that too often. The 2, 5, and 9. Piece of wood in between the 2 and the 5. Just too far left. Wait a minute, hang on. It's an 8 drop on the strike.
And the 10.
Still perfect. Hasn't left a pin standing through 7 boxes. Has 1 spare, 1 strike, all the rest 10s.
I want to make a little announcement here for those of you who have not heard already. Starting today, here on the Winds, Stars and Strikes Doubles moves back to 1 p.m. So it will follow us here immediately on Stars and Strikes. Stay tuned from 1 to 2 for Stars and Strikes Doubles. And there's another spare for Dave Blaine. Mentioned from time to time that we do get a considerable amount of mail and a lot of phone calls about the program, and of course we enjoy talking to the folks who appear at our tapings both here and in Londonderry, and the people have spoken regarding the airtime of Stars and Strikes Doubles, and so it will be back at its original time of 1 p.m. starting today.
We do listen.
Absolutely.
Spare, another spare for Mike Ferrante. It's 2 open frames and 5 spares. This time full on the head pin, spread eagle 4.
I was about to say he's been all over the head pin on every first ball, and that time too much so.
Almost should play the 6-10 on this shot. That's what he's doing. He snaps the wood, almost. By hitting the 3-pin in that case, you would have just pushed the piece of wood right into the pit area and not helped you at all with the other 3. Cleans away for the 10, 111. Just a little, just caught a little too much of the 6-pin, but pretty good effort.
Dave Blaine now working on a spare in the 8th. Try and close that gap a little bit. That'll leave the lead under 10. The 7 fill.
1, 4, and 7 left for Dave, trying to make it 2 spares in a row and his 4th mark of the first string. Got to catch the head pin. He does.
4 marks for Dave Blaine. 3 spares and a strike in game 1.
Very deliberate, and very exceptionally sharp, especially as far as his pinning goes. This time off the head pin a little bit.
That ball hopped just a little bit after he released it. It was on target to begin with, and it just skipped on him a little.
Probably dropped it right on the foul line. It's 116 through 9.
That was a good-looking ball, too.
The head pin went right between the 6 and 10. Now he needs these 2, and he'll be perfect. He'll knock 10 or better in every frame. Sure, Dan. Just going.
125 for Dave Blaine. 4 pins over his average for his first game on television. Now Mike Ferrante.
I'm just going to look at the 3, 6, 10 for a spare.
Yes. The 6th spare in 9 frames for Mike.
See, just a domino effect. Played it on the inside of the 3-pin. He's back on the head pin.
Oh,
There's
yes.
his first strike.
Whew.
Sure he hasn't been here under an assumed name or something. Already at 131 in the 9th, 141 plus 2 bonus balls, and got a chance to break the 150 mark. A couple more of these for exactly 150. Make it 149.
And a 24-pin lead after 1 game for Mike Ferrante. Both bowlers pretty sharp on their first appearances on television. Good match going. We'll be back with Game 2 and details on our bonus ball contest. We'll try and give you some money at the end of this week's show. Don't go away. Mike Ferrante now. Game 2 with a 24-pin lead. And looking for more. A single pin, the 3. Mike with 7 marks and a 149 opening game, and he has continued after the break. Seven drop. And another chance for Mike. Oh, yes. 9 marks in 11 boxes.
Not too bad. I was going to say, I don't know how many at home pay real close attention to their averages. But if you know at the opening of the show, I mentioned that Mike's average is 115. One of the lower averages. But you can throw those out the window. Doesn't mean a thing when you get into the competition, and he opens with a 149.
Oh, great ball by Dave Blaine. Perfectly on the mark to take care of the 4 horsemen left side.
You see, usually the last pin is the testy one, and that was the case there, the 7-pin. Right back in the pocket, and an 8-pin drop. 5 and 9 left. And a little piece of wood out in front that he probably would like to try to get by. Now he's going to drive it right through.
Matches the 2 spares that Mike Ferrante put up.
Mike gets up and throws 2 marks. Figure, well, I'll gain a few here. Well, he actually lost 1 so far in count.
Mike now on a spare. Misses the head pin for one of the few times so far.
He has the 4 horsemen left. 1, 2, 4, 7. Piece of wood in between the 2 and the 4. Looks like he's right on it, though. 3 in a row. Pretty amazing for the first time in front of the lights. Both bowlers bowling exceptionally well. Right back in the pocket. This time just a little full. 5-pin drop. And this time a difficult spare leave. 2, 4, 7 on the left and the 6, 10 in the right-hand corner. Pretty close. Almost cut the 3-pin. 2-pin.
Mike doesn't waste much time up there either. If there's no wood moving, he is ready to throw the next one.
Quite a contrast in styles, too, because Mike Blaine is just the opposite. Very, very deliberate, very slow with his delivery.
Remember, this is also on a spare, and he's got the big fill this time. Maybe all of them? No.
I'm sure he kind of likes the looks of this, though. The 8-pin with a 3 pieces of wood in front. 2 of them look like they're real good. No problem there. 3 in a row.
that is mark number 7 for Dave Blaine. Another look at the Four Horsemen.
He just converted the Four Horsemen left. This time it's on the right-hand side, 1, 3, 6, 10. See how he goes about this one. Little hop again, and might have cost him.
Well, the good news is that Dave has managed to keep pace, and with the marks that he's put up on the board, he has cut into that lead. Mike Ferrante, we will take a timeout. A 9-box it is for Dave, 62 through 4. Both guys, great games going here. Mike Ferrante with the lead by 19 in the match. Don't go away. Mike Ferrante. Between the two bowlers, Dan, to this point, 28 boxes have been thrown. 17 of them have been marks.
You know, I was just trying to think. We're about halfway through the match, and I can't remember either bowler missing a legitimate spare leave. They've covered everything. A little full in the head pin. Still looking at the 3, 7, 10.
It's always interesting when the bowlers come on to, especially the first time, to learn about them and find out where they're from and where they work and everything. And I was awfully excited when I saw that Mike Ferrante works at Kelly's Roast Beef in Revere. It's Mike from Revere, and boy, Kelly's is an institution on Revere Beach. From that area myself, and boy, there's no one who lives on the North Shore in Massachusetts that doesn't know about Kelly's.
No luck there. Left the 7 pin. How come you've never invited me down there? Take me there, Doug.
Well, now that I know Mike, maybe we can set something up.
I think Christmas is over. Mike Blaine for his 5th and 6th frames. Mike Blaine, yeah. Let's try Dave. Did I say Mike?
Yeah, I think
I'm thinking of the roast beef. Break there where this 4-7 went down, leaves him just the 1 and the 2.
For all I know, Mike has waited on me. I mean, I could very well be.
That's right. Ooh.
No.
Hit the object pin, but just a little full. Drove it straight back, missed the 2.
Gains 2 more and count, so the lead down to 17 at the halfway mark. Hey, the way these guys are going right now, Dan, we may see double 400 scores here.
Be a bit surprised. Dave Blaine just barely touched the head pin that time and got good action down there. Left just the 3 pin, and luckily the wood was frozen behind it. Kicked it forward.
So far, a total of 18 marks in this match. Only 2 of them have been strikes. But the key for both bowlers has been the first ball. It's been very productive for the most part, but Mike Ferrante struggling a little bit with the half and now full Worcester here in the 7th.
Going after the head pin, though. That's a great out. Get our fill of the 4 horsemen here. There's another one on the right, plus the 7 pin on the left-hand corner.
No.
Between the 6-10, knocked the 6 down, went over and took the 7, but forgot the 10 pin. And it's going to go like 6 boxes in a row here without a mark. 5 boxes. Dave Blaine, chance to cut into that lead even a little more. Finds himself down by 17 minus this ball.
And he'll shoot at another spare leave after an 8 drop.
Yeah, this is a difficult one, though. He's going to have to be high in the wood, almost capping it, turning it, and driving it straight back. Otherwise, he's going to have trouble with the 4-pin. Looks pretty good.
That's exactly it. Well, Dave Blaine has trailed right from the first box of this match, but he could take the lead with this ball. Anything over 7 would give him the lead in the match. Well, it'll be a 5 drop. See how he elects to play this one. $8 for Dave, and the difference is now just 4. The winner of this match comes back next week to face Roger Bowden, Manchester, New Hampshire.
2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Cluster of 5 in the left-hand corner for Mike. Looks pretty good. Oh, the 8-pin won't go.
If you'd like to join us here at Park Place Lanes in Windham to see a taping of Candlepin Stars and Strikes in person, our next one will be on Tuesday, January 12th. Tuesday, January 12th here at Park Place Lanes, Route 28 in Windham, just off Route 93. We start at about 10 in the morning and go till 4:30 or so in the afternoon. And on that taping of January 12th, we will be taping mixed doubles. So if you'd like to stop by, we'd love to see you. Say hello. Well, after 3 marks in a row to open this second game, Mike goes 7 boxes without a mark and winds up with a 111 and a 2-string total of 260.
So if Dave Blaine is going to grab the lead, he's going to need at least 1 mark. Trails by just 4, opposite 2 9 frames. 2, 4, 5 left. Triangle.
Right after he threw that ball, Dave was directing that 2-pin to stay up. He didn't want it to come down. Oh, but he lost that one to the right. Looked like it just slipped right out of his hand. It's the 9 box. So the lead's still 4, and Dave's still with a chance to take the lead should he mark here in the 10th.
Well, whatever happens now, this is going to be a close match going into the final game.
Just sliding by the head pin. And that little difference is the difference between the leave he's got now and maybe an 8 or 9 pin drop. Well, Mike Ferrante will maintain the lead. He's had it all the way. It won't be a very big lead, but he'll have it going into the 3rd and final game. A 9 box for Dave Blaine, a 131, and a 2-game total 256. So just 4 pins separating our 2 bowlers with 1 game to go, and we'll be back with it here on Stars and Strikes in a minute. Well, 1 box to go, and what a match this is. 2 rookies. 1 game to go, I should say. We'll let him bowl a whole game.
Yeah, okay.
The way it's going, it may come down to 1 box, though.
Dave, Looked like he put a little more speed on that ball and went right through the middle.
Oop. That one slipped away. Not much to choose between these two bowlers right at the moment. A 4-pin difference in the match. Mike Ferrante has 10 marks, 9 spares, and a strike. Dave Blaine has 9 marks, 8 spares, and a strike, and he converts for a 9 box there. A nice out.
That's probably why it's only a 4-pin advantage. Close
Really,
marks.
really, yeah, it really hasn't been much difference. Neither of them has had a bad box.
Little testy spare here with a 5-9 and one piece of wood next to the 5 to the left and another one out in front of the 5 and the 9, which could cause them some problems. Ooh.
Oh, nice shot.
Very nice. Just caught enough of the front piece to take the 5, but not enough to deflect the ball away from the 9-pin. See the wood take the 5 and the ball take the 9. Great shot by Dave Blaine.
Ferrante.
4 horsemen plus the 8.
4 horsemen, kind of a recurring theme in this show.
It's 8 frames in a row over 2 games that Mike Ferrante is not marked. This time he's going to have a shot at one.
Yeah.
He's not going to have to throw another ball.
His second strike. And I think the way things were going, he'll take it.
Took a little time, but you see the 5 toppling into the 3. Dave Blaine working on a spare now. And will take the lead, at least temporarily.
Oh, almost. Went too far to the left, but hung on to convert it. The 4-8 for the spare. Oh, big ball there. How about that one?
And it's 3 in a row for Dave Blaine. Trying to take control of the match, which no one has been able to do thus far. Trips the 4-pin for the strike. 2 spares and a strike, and now Mike will be working on his strike.
Oh, pretty good
like
ball. Ooh.
I was going to say it looked like a double. Everything but the 6-pin.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought he had it.
And he laid the ball down, I thought he did as well, but just slid by on the left. Big break for Dave Blaine.
Well, so Dave does in fact have the lead for the first time in the match. By 4.
And he still has a mark already posted, the strike, so
Ooh.
just the 3-pin.
Oh, now Mike's got to really work here to avoid the bad box. And he gets the 8. So we'll take a timeout. Dave Blaine has taken the lead in the match, and remember, when he comes back, he'll be filling that strike in the 4th. We'll be back on Stars and Strikes. Don't go away. Well, Dave Blaine has managed to turn this thing around. He trailed by 24 after game 1. And he right now leads by 6 plus the fill on this strike. And Cindy Sissom will go down and take a look at that piece of wood in front. I have a feeling it may be out of play. Although, it might be better for Dave to leave it there, give him something else to fly around down there. He's got a piece of wood in front of the 6-pin, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to jump over and carry. We'll see.
Probably have to go right at the 10 pin, just clip the end of it, but like you say, I don't think he's got the real good angle. But you never know. That's too high. So it's an 8 drop on the strike.
And a 14-pin lead in the match for Dave Blaine. 74 halfway through. .310 left for Dave. Yes. Oh, nice shot.
Not an easy spare. This time he elected to go to the left-hand side of the 3 and push the 3 into the 10. Now Mike would really like to put up a double mark here. Well, it's going to look at the 3, 9, 10. Piece of wood resting in between and against the 9 pin. Oh.
Watch it. Mike, both of those last 2 balls held on just a little bit too long, pulled them. And he'll take the 9 box. Sure, he would love to come up with a mark right here to match what Dave put up.
He's 2 marks behind now, so you really have to match this one.
Oh, yes.
He does.
Oh, do you believe it?
Wow.
Ooh. Well, that's the 5 pin, folks, although it's over toward where the 6 pin should be a little bit.
It was going over. Another piece of wood stood it back up again, and boy, it'd be a shame for him not to get at least a spare out of that. Watch this. Watch the 5 pin. Here it goes. Right there was going to go down, and then just stood itself right back up.
That's still a big mark for Mike Ferrante. He needed it. Trails by 14 in the match. Coming down to the final few frames.
Off the head pin is Dave Blaine, but he gets an 8-pin drop and just the 1 and the 9 left. A couple pieces of wood just behind and to the left of the head pin, which should help. First object is to hit the head pin though, and
got it.
It does.
That is the 14th mark in this match for Dave Blaine.
And right now, Mike Ferrante needs a break. In other words, have to have Dave open a few frames to give him an opening. Oh, that could be one. Spread eagle. It's the 4 drop on the spare.
Oh, no. Now all of it on this ball for Dave Blaine. And he's going to take a moment to compose himself. Not a bad idea.
Because right now, a bad frame would negate that last spare. And that's a great out. It's 114 through 8. The lead right now is 22. However, Mike is working on the spare.
Back on the head pin. Look out! The 5 pin won't stay up this time.
It was that close to a double strike. I think you have to go back and look at that 6th frame when he moved the 5 pin, thought it was going to go, and then came back with another strike. This time full on the head pin. Let's see what he's going to have to shoot at.
Come down a little. Not too much.
Well, even if Mike doesn't mark here, he will probably gain a little ground because he's opposite a 4 fill. It'll be an 8 fill on the strike. The difference is going to be single numbers heading down to the final 2 boxes. 10 box, 104. The difference is 6. A 6-pin lead for Dave Blaine with 2 frames to go.
Boy, what a match. 2 bowls for the first time in front of the cameras and the lights, and really should be proud of themselves the way they bowled. Final 2 frames now. This gentleman leading by 6.
A little off target, but not too bad. the 2, 4, and 7. Dave took plenty of time, and he is all over it for the spare.
Well, that's half the battle. Now the attention turns to the bonus ball, because with a good fill here, that pushes Mike into a double mark situation. Of course, another mark might push him into the double strike situation.
Oh, he'd love to see that 8-pin go, but it won't.
Well, unless he can convert this, Mike will have a shot. He'll need 2 big marks, though.
Can he throw it over? Not quite. Ooh.
All big pins now.
A 10, a 142, and how about a 398 for your first time on television?
So 138 is a tie, and he's at a 124 clip now, so he needs a couple marks. The ball's right in there, but he's get the diamond. 2, 4, 5, 8.
Well, Mike needs this, either this or a double strike in the 10th, and that's what it's going to have to be.
Get the 10. Make sure that's in.
Needs a total of 34 pins in the 2 boxes.
Ooh.
And he has just 8. So it's got to be a double strike now for Mike Ferrante. You knew this was going to come down to the last box, though.
It's not going to happen. Great match, though, right down to the final frame.
A nice come-from-behind win for Dave Blaine. He never led in this match until this 3rd game.
Just kept his own pace and just went about his business box by box.
It's an 8, a 120, and a 380 for Mike Ferrante. An outstanding match between 2 rookies here on Stars and Strikes. We'll be back to talk to the bowlers and see if we can't give away some money in the bonus ball contest in a minute. And welcome back to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. Stars and Strikes completed our first week of the brand new series and the brand new year, and 2 guys who've never been here before, and they put on quite a show.
They certainly did. They should both be very proud of themselves. First time on TV, they both bowled exceptionally well and right down to the last box.
All right, let's meet both of them. First of all, let's have a round of applause for our runner-up today, Mike Ferrante. And for Michael, we have a check for $100. And Mike, this is pretty good day for you. I imagine not the result you wanted, certainly, but just to be here. And we mentioned that it's only been a few months since you first tried, and that's a terrific showing, 380.
I'm happy. I bowled over my average, and that's all I wanted to do, and I made a good showing. So
terrific first game. It didn't seem like anything was bothering you at all right off the start.
yeah, I was a little nervous, but I shook it off after a couple of spares.
Well, we were just talking in the break before we brought you up here that you look back in that 3rd game and what could have been a double strike, that 5-pin that stayed up, and things might have been a little different.
Well, that's the way the pins fall. You can't really do nothing about it. He kept on hitting them, so he outmarked me, and that's what counts. So.
Well, I hope now that you've made it for the first time, you'll come back and join us again. And please do me a favor and say hello to all of my friends at Kelly's, would you? All right.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks very much, Mike. Mike Ferrante from Revere. And now let's call on Dave Blaine to roll our bonus ball, and we'll see if we can't give away some cash and some brand new bowling balls as well from Paramount Industries. $30 in the jackpot. And we'll see if we can get a match here. All right, it'll be 5. Dan will do his customary duty.
Those rookies got to understand it's good. 7's a good number.
Well, no, what you got to understand is you got to pick out a 5. That's what you got to do. But you didn't. The guess was 8 for, I believe it's Mitzi or Missy Walton in Drake, Mass. So, Mitzi, you'll be receiving a gift from the NHCBA and from TV50. Slide right in here, Dave, so we can get you on camera. And congratulations, not only for the win, but you had to come from behind, too. You had to stick with it and just try and make things happen. They finally did for you.
I bowled my own pace and got lucky in the end.
You had both of you guys really had some terrific first ball drops. It seemed like the first ball was really working pretty well for both of you.
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, I got more breaks than he did, and that's the name of the game.
Now, I know that you know, and I assume Bull also with Steve Vadney, and he's sitting up at the top of this ladder. All you have to do is win 2 more times. You might get a shot at him.
Well, you never know. Never know.
Congratulations on the first win, Dave, and we'll see you next week. Roger Bowden will be in.
Great.
All right. Thanks very much. Congratulations. And Dave Blaine has that win in the book, and we will now switch over to the ladder so you can, again, be refreshed as to what's going to happen in the weeks to come. Dave Blaine advances, beating Mike Ferrante, and now he will meet Roger Bowden next week in the second week of our series. Tom Morgan, of course, that number 2 seed, and Steve Vadney, who Dave knows very well in that number 1 spot.
It doesn't get any easier for him. His first win under his belt, but now he's a veteran, so he'll do very well.
We should remind you also that Steve Vadney will also be in our doubles series that begins immediately after this program ends here on the Winds. Again, a reminder, if you missed it, that Stars and Strikes doubles returns to 1 o'clock starting today. So keep it right here on the Winds, because we're coming right back after a break with Stars and Strikes doubles, the brand new series to begin there as well. And until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew from Park Place Lane, so long, everybody.